Okay, team, let's look at Python lists. Here's an example of one. You can see those square brackets, and then this list has 3 strings in: an apple, banana, cherry. And here I've assigned that list to be stored in the variable mylist. So a few more things. It can store multiple items in a single variable. That's what we saw above. Those 3 things are stored in that variable mylist. We're going to eventually look at the rest of these 4 built-in data types in Python, but we'll come to that later. And we can print lists. Let's look at what that looks like. Here, I'll run the code. So it prints sort of similar. It defaults to whatever quotes. That is, like, we put in the double quotes because the double quotes are equivalent to single quotes, and so it just prints the single quote version. But that might be a little bit confusing. And as a reminder, if I didn't print it and I run it, I just am storing the variable. And so I won't actually see its value unless I do something like this and be like, yo, what's that value? Or explicitly say, yo, print it, please. List items are ordered. We can change the items in the list, add more, remove things, and they allow duplicates. Just like strings, the first item's index is going to be 0, and then the second is 1. We also can use those negative indices that we've seen with strings. And just like a string, it's going to be ordered. Unlike a string, we're going to be able to change the contents of it. Okay, so strings are what we call immutable. Lists, we're going to be able to go in and modify things. Oh, that's this piece, is they're changeable. We can add, remove items, etc. They also allow duplicate values. That's no problem. Some of the later data sets that we're going to look at, specifically sets, don't allow duplicates. So maybe not surprising, it doesn't have any trouble with creating a list that has multiple copies of apple and cherry. Just like with strings, we can call the function length on them. So let's look at that. Here I can say length of this list. And if I run that, I should see that it's 5. And remember, we could do the same thing of, say, I called the length of that string, it's also 5. The examples we've looked at so far are only using strings in there, but actually you can put any kind of data type in here. So you can see here, I've got apple, banana, some numbers, some true falses. I'll paste that in and run that. That's no problem. I even can put things like function names. Like I could put length and print and a string and a false. Like I really can have a mixed set of things in there. And I'll run that. Great, no problem. Then we can see how it prints list 4. And here, right, len is normally a function we're calling, but here you can see, well, it's this built-in function, len. And the rest of these ones probably look pretty normal. But the big picture idea here is that lists can contain different types of things. Yeah, here's their example. And then last piece is that we can see the type of something. So do you remember we can see the type of something like this? And it'll say, oh, the type is string. Remember, I could say the output here is type. So type is a function called on a string that returns a value that I can store in output. And then if I print output 1, you can see that type or that class is string. So the type of that thing is string. I can do the same thing with my lists. So here I will say, what is the type of list 4? We can see above that it's just a list. So I'll run that and you can see, oh, the type is list. And similarly here, we get kind of a cuter answer actually if we just do type directly and don't save it as an output. And you can play around with this list constructor, but we'll actually come back to that and this Python collection or arrays. Python collections arrays. We'll look at each of these during our class.